Alright guys, I don't have the screencastify I normally do at school, so I'm going to try to do this quickly so you can see it before class here. The Google form that you have in Classroom was essentially this document. So basically, I uploaded a video to remind you what ionization energy is. Now there's two types of ionization energy that you should be graphing on your scatter plot. The first one should be just the first ionization energy, and the second is the second ionization energy. Simply said, the first ionization energy is the energy required to remove the first electron, and the second ionization energy is the energy required to move the second electron. Now, it should make sense then that hydrogen doesn't have a second ionization energy, and helium's is incredibly high. Because of that, you're going to have some outliers in your data. So I want to show you an example of how you're going to do this. So you're going to have your atomic numbers 1 through 36. And then you're going to open your P table. So we go P table. And then you are going to just click on ionization energy over on the left-hand side. And when you do that, it's going to give you the ionization energy of all of them. I want you to graph through krypton. Now, when you first look at this, a lot of you didn't feel like there was a trend going on. But what I want you to notice, once you graph it, you will see it. They're telling you here that there's a logarithmic trend. But what I want you to see with your data is that once you plot it, it becomes abundantly clear. Like I said, there are some outliers. So I'm going to show you how we can cap those off. But let's just start by throwing it all in. So you just number 1 through... I'm going to make a new file so you can see how you can actually do that. Oh, nope, not that. Actually, I'll go here. So you're going to do your atomic number, which is obviously your number of protons. And then you're going to do the first ionization energy. Again, you can do this on paper if you'd rather. And then second ionization energy. All right. This is just how you auto resize. All right, now if you go 1, 2, 3, enter, highlight, hover over the bottom right corner, you can drag down so it fills for you. There's to my 36. All right, so I'm going to be doing my chart based off of these atomic numbers. So I'm going to pull my first ionization energy. Remember, you can snap to the left and snap to the right if I can find where my window is. There he is. All right, so we should now be able to see all of our ionization energies. I think I can hide that, but I don't want to waste time with it right now. So you're just going to record hydrogens is 1, 3, 1, 2. Oop. Oh, I'm on the wrong window. That's why. 1, 3. And now 1,312. Now hydrogen, I have to jump over to helium, which is 2,000. 2,372.3. All right, scooch on over. Lithium 5. 520.2, 899.5. Number 5, I'm on boron, 800.6. All right, so you just continue to do this. All right, I'm going to show you that once I've got that, it's going to look something like this. Okay, so I went through and typed them in. I was working through my second ionization energy. Now, for those of you that don't know how to make a scatter plot, you are just going to highlight the data you want to put in. I haven't even finished this yet, but I can come back and finish it even if I do my scatter plot right now. So highlight the data you want. Notice I have my headers highlighted as well. Remember, in Sheets, you have a few types of cursor visual. So right now it is an arrow for me, the white arrow. When I want to highlight something, I want it to be the white arrow. Click, drag to highlight. If you have the white hand, you're going to move stuff. If you've got that, you're going to be dragging format or trend. Okay, remember Control Z is an undo. Notice I don't have a second ionization energy because that is hydrogen. It doesn't have a second electron. Again, highlight, insert, chart. Yes, there is a shortcut up there. What we want is a scatter plot. So it automatically does a lot of the stuff for us. Right now it does a line chart though. I want to scroll all the way down under pie chart and click scatter chart. Mine automatically did my first ionization energy in one color and my second in another. And it also, if you had your headers highlighted, should have automatically used those headers as your titles. Remember, a graph needs to have a title. Your axes need to be titled and your units need to be labeled. So you'll need to go back and add that. But notice I have a huge outlier here. In spreadsheets here, we can actually make it remove outliers, but I want to show you some of the options here first. So in setup, this is just saying which cells I want it to do. My x-axis is my atomic number, and my series is my y values. I have my first ionization and my second. Now over to customize is where I'm going to add stuff. So chart title, I could change the background if you want. Just make sure it looks professional whenever you're done. That just gets rid of your edges. Chart and axis title. You definitely should have ionization energy trends. All right, now that is, shoot. Okay, if you accidentally get at it, just double click on your chart, pull it up. I'm in customize. So that was chart title. And I can do a subtitle and say elements 1 through 36. Now go to your drop down again. Horizontal axis should say atomic number. And if you really wanted to, you could add number of protons. Now my y-axis is my vertical, and that should be my ionization energy. Now I believe the initial worksheet, when they gave the table, when they handed that assignment out, probably did it with a different unit, which is why they said to crop it at like 1700. You would lose most of your data here. You could do that, but really the only one we really don't want to look at is this one. That is obscenely high compared to the rest. And again, it should make sense because this is helium. If you're going to remove the only last electron from helium, that's kind of a different story than removing one from everybody else. So, where was I going to open? Shoot. Okay, here. So we want to say what is our unit. So you're going to look back to your P table, and it tells you right here that they're talking in kilojoules per mole. So if you wanted to, you could use this unit and the numbers would be smaller. Okay, so this is where it might look a little bit different, but let's just do kilojoules per mole. That's just fine because I think that's where most of you were in yesterday, and I don't want to make you start over. So kilojoules per mole is what I want to tell it that I'm doing. Where subtitle ionization energy, and I am in kilojoules per mole. So that's basically the amount of energy per amount of substance is what that is saying. You can change all the fun stuff if you would like. But if we come back down to legend, precision is just saying like how many increments I've got. Auto is fine for now unless you see an issue. Let's go. Keep looking down. Your vertical, you could change your min and your max if it wasn't set to 0. Sometimes I like to tell it to go to 0. Grid lines and ticks, if you want to change any of this. Now, usually there is a part where you can just check a box and it removes an outlier. If it doesn't, I'm going to do it. Agenda now. Trendline would look silly because of that, okay, but what I do want us to do remove that outlier. So I think the easiest one right now for me to do would just to be to delete that. I can show you later, but see how much of a trend you're actually seeing, okay, when that's there and when it's not. Once you add that value in there, you're just unfortunately changing the scale so much that you can't see the trend. Okay, so once you have all of your data in, go ahead and find those outliers. I know this one is one for sure. Okay, so you should be able to see some very clear trends. Okay, you saw mine there for a second. Make sure you've got your own Google Sheets or physical chart made. Remember, in science, the way we're going to be able to see, or in general, actually, the way we can see that whether or not a trend has taken place or a correlation exists is by graphing. So being able to graph your data is huge. When a lot of you looked at this, you're like, well, it kind of looks like there's a trend, but not really. But when you look at that graph, you're going to very clearly see the trend that is present. Okay, so that was the first ionization energy. Now to see the second ionization energy, you just click this drop down and go second. Okay, again, you're going to have some outliers because if you're moving the second one from helium, remember, kind of a big deal, or the second from lithium. Okay, so this group 1, remember, they're kind of attached to every electron other than that one. Okay, so think about it logically as you're going as well. That'll help you figure out who your outliers are, but also by looking at the scale. Any of them close to this color, those are significantly higher. All right, email me with any questions you might have.